To the pastor out there, I would say this, that it's very important that your wife feel as if she is a part of your ministry. Now, you're the one that's up front. I understand that. That's, of course, been my experience. But she needs to come alongside of you in a way that she feels she is relevant to the ministry. You know, looking back, I wish I had done things differently. I have a wonderful wife, Rebecca. She's been very supportive. We've been married for 53 years. Now, I know that I look much younger than that, but nevertheless, 53 years of marriage. And we really do ministry together, especially now as we travel. You know, it's a combined ministry. But I have to say that there were periods of time where she felt left out of the ministry. Now, you can go back and you can justify that and say, well, you know, she was taking care of the children, she was doing this, she was doing this, and of course you and I, we go into board meetings and we come home and we don't even want to talk about what happened necessarily. And so there can be this division. So what you have to do is pray together, share requests together, and ask yourself the question, how can I make my wife feel as if she is a part of the ministry and actually is a part of the ministry? There was a time when my wife, for example, sang in the choir and she was a part of the nursery committee, but then you grow out of that and times change and seasons change. So remember this, you are in the ministry together. And if your marriage falls apart, it doesn't much matter what you preach on Sunday. So what you have to do is that. Now, regarding children, don't bring home all of the faults of the church to your children. They don't need to hear how bad some of these deacons are and some of these elders, because they will develop negative attitudes. Be optimistic. Help them to see that it's a privilege for them to grow up in a home where there's ministry. Make the ministry exciting. Help them as they grow older to become a part of the ministry. And when there are criticisms, try to minimize that as much as possible because you want a healthy relationship. Now, let me give you a personal story. One day, somebody asked our eldest daughter, "What do you like most about your dad?" She didn't say, well, he's pastor of a well-known church. He has written books. He's on the radio. None of that. You know what she said? She said, the thing I love most about my dad is that when he was wrong, he asked our forgiveness. And there were times because of inconsistent discipline or something that happened where I was quick to ask the children for forgiveness. And that builds relationships. Today, to the glory of God, Rebecca and I have excellent relationships with our 3 daughters, our 3 sons-in-law, and our 8 grandchildren. We're together at least a couple times a year, enjoying one another, because the key to all that is an attitude of humility and forgiveness. I have to share this story. Rebecca and I were at an airport and we were sharing a sandwich. I think it was Subway. And a woman across the way watched us. And she said, you know, the 2 of you seem to be happily married. And she said, I'm going to be married next week. What advice do you have for married couples? Now, I have to say that as a man, I thought, oh, what am I going to say to this? What am I going to say? Just like that, Rebecca, she never even had to think. She said, the best advice I can give you is learn to forgive. And you know what? She is right. If you can't forgive within the home, and you can't forgive within the church, if you carry all those hurts with you, remember this, whatever you don't forgive, you will pass on. Pastor, don't be angry. Lay it down. Learn to forgive, because you know what the truth is? People have to forgive you too. It's amazing. God is just limited to using sinners. So be encouraged. Humility is the key. and be quick to ask for forgiveness when you are wrong.